world number one. It should be a really classic match, you would say. Both players will go for the shots and try and make the big breaks. But a lot riding on this match, of course, a place in the semi-finals. This man has been in wonderful form over the last couple of years, Phil, you'd have to say. I mean, he's quite a good bit ahead of his world number one, 600,000 points. Been very, very consistent. And I liked what the boys were saying, you know, in the studio, that he's not just happy with that, is he, Phil? He seems to have that desire, that hunger to win more, and particularly this tournament as well. He's lost in the final a couple of times, but this is definitely one on his list.
Yes, he's explained that really well quite a few times now. I suppose winning is an addiction. Once you start, it's a tough habit to give up.
Well,
we saw this last week at the Championship League on these RAZN tables. That fluke, even at that pace, from one jaw to the next, that's on. It happened time and again last week, didn't it?
Well, it's a nice start, isn't it? I mean, no matter how good you are, always when lady luck shines on you, it's very, very nice indeed. Now, what can he make of it? He has this bottom red of the pack.
6.
He'll be looking to get a nice angle. Hopefully finish low on the black when he pots it. Well, he didn't want to go for the black. He decided to go up for the blue, and that surprised me. Obviously felt a better angle on the blue, but he hasn't got that angle on the blue. Need a lot of top spin on this cue ball here. Great attempt for sure.
12.
It's got a very tricky red into this corner pocket.
Just from 12.
Always looked marginally on the thick side, and so it proved to be. And for the umpteenth time today, Dave Gilbert comes to the table with the reds opened for him.
What?
Just connect the dots.
Yeah, and how well he played this afternoon when he got his chance. Julie took it.
Eights.
It was a feast of scoring against Sean Murphy, and most of the time they were ready meals. They were there for him, but you still got to knock them in.
Yes, of course.
Nine.
You know, they've had contrasting times of late as regards success in tournaments, but I feel for Dave Gilbert in particular tonight, he's got to get off to a good start. If he can get off to a good start, put a bit of pressure on Judd Trump early, then he'll have
60.
a chance in this match. And situations like this, he's got to make the most of.
David Gilbert.
Just as I mentioned that,
60.
he misses. Straightforward red to the corner pocket.
One.
Trump this afternoon was actually making the observation that he thought the cushions were rather bouncy. I think the whole table is swift. But if you get the hang of it, it must be an absolute delight to play on.
Yeah, absolutely. I mean, I had a little practice with Stephen Hendry in the practice tables earlier, and even there, very, very quick. Oh, that's a beautiful shot. Took the aggressive shot into the pack. And this is beautifully played.
8.
Didn't hit it with a lot of pace, but just look how well he got into the cue ball. And that's really
9.
opened the Reds up now. But yeah, going back to the cloths and the table itself, Phil, it looks so quick, and it's nice to play on, because you see some shots like that Judd Trump played. It's not very difficult to open the Reds up with very little effort, and that's always very good for break building. Dave Gilbert will be
16.
very disappointed. Really good chance there.
$17.
Well, we were having dinner just in the players' room. Judd was at the table, and
24.
Mark Selby. We were talking about these tables because, you know, these players are used to playing on the start tables, of course, in all the ranking tournaments. But Judd Trump said particularly that he thought this table was playing quite tight, and particularly these two black pockets.
$25.
Rason is a table manufacturer based in China,
30.
who also supply all of the tables for all of Matchroom's world-leading pool events. And the World Championship,
33.
US Open, World Cup, and of course coming up in early December, the Mosconi Cup, the annual Europe versus USA clash. They
Yeah, I
even
must
supply
say-
the tables for the World Ping Pong Championship, Ken.
Well, I must say, Phil, from what I've played on in the Championship League, and indeed just in the tables upstairs, I really like them. I like the finish on them. I think they run really well. I'm very impressed with them, for sure. Now, Judd's got a slight little problem here. He's wrong side of the blue. Well, it's settled for that.
38.
Definitely didn't play for that red, but may have been playing for a red into the left centre, or this red that you see just to the right of the pink spot up into the yellow pocket. But I don't think he was playing for this red, but he'll certainly be delighted he's on it.
$39.
Now this may be a little test, and we'll see whether Judd Trump will actually play for the red just below the black. Looks like he's trying to knock it out. Yes, lovely shot.
$46. $47.
Those type of shots, Phil, they look so simple, don't they? But you have to get the right connection on the red from the black. And he played it lovely.
And Gilbert's surprising missed red
52.
is being severely punished.
$53.
The frame is basically over, so now it's
60.
trying to chase yet another century.
$61.
Yeah, and as Dave Gilbert looks on in his chair, he'll be saying, these should have been mine. It was a glaring miss.
$66. $67.
When you're up against the big boys, you don't get many chances. But when you do get them, you've really got to take them. He did this afternoon against Sean Murphy, David Gilbert. I'll give him that. But he's got to do it again tonight.
$71. $72.
The brown plus all of the colours stationed on their spots or close to them. And it will be Trump's 14th century of the season.
78.
Over the last 6 seasons, his century production has been out of this world. 82, 40, 70, 73, 83,
81.
and last season 102.
Yeah, incredible scoring.
85.
And this is what he's been doing on a regular basis. And that's why he's been so successful. In complete control here. This first frame.
90.
Okay, missed the red early on and gave Daegu a chance, but when the second chance came along, he wasn't left wanting.
96.
Great break.
$103 in the first
The
round.
stark message has been delivered to David Gilbert. Miss at your peril. Judd Trump off to a flyer. Was joint favourite with Ronnie O'Sullivan. No surprise there. In that first frame this evening, Trump showed why, justified his status as a short price contender for this £150,000 first prize.
This time hasn't got the cue ball to his top cushion and may have left the red for Judd Trump. He's having a look at the red up into the top right hand corner pocket. Looks a little bit tight. Oh, it will go by that red into. Doesn't look like it. He has a red into the right centre, but probably too dangerous, that one. take this on to the right centre maybe. We might be better this occasion, just trying to play a good safety shot and try and get that cue ball tight to the top cushion. Didn't get it tight to the top cushion enough, so he's left us Dave Gilbert the chance to do so.
With the reds everywhere and no development work to do, whoever gets in first could have a field day.
Well, this will be interesting. Will he take this red on into the left centre? Only possibly the green to play on if he does take it in on. Doesn't like it. Played a couple of shots there, get the cue ball tight and also take the pot on. He was a long way away from the pot, but the fact now that he's nice and tight to this top cushion behind the black, that this poses a little bit of a problem now for Dave Gilbert.
That's the thing with Trump these days, just not only executing shots well, but conceiving them. He thinks about things, and when he wants to play a tight safety game, which isn't always, but when he wants to, he does.
Well, he was forced into taking that pot on, missed it by quite some distance, and probably glad that he did miss it by such a distance, because he hasn't left anything very easy for Judd Trump. Red into the right centre pocket.
One.
Didn't want that little cannon on that red. Maybe take the green on. It's a big shot. Well, we talked about Judd Trump, how he's become a little bit more of an all-round player, and there's a prime example.
Judd Trump one.
3 or 4 years ago, maybe even, yeah, just 3 years ago, Phil, he'd had no hesitation of taking that green on. Now he sort of understands the value of sometimes just pulling in the reins, not pushing the boat out too much. He knows if he gets a chance, he doesn't want to give his opponent a chance to settle in this match, and that's why he didn't take that green on.
I think it's all about how he feels. Sometimes he might take the green, other times, like there, displays patience. But it was a good reply from Gilbert, meaning that Trump's safety had to be negative, just containing nothing more.
be able to get the cue ball back to somewhere where he is now. Far enough away from this top cushion to dig down into it. And the cue ball will go back somewhere close to where it was originally.
And now with the pink in open play, this table is even more appetising.
He's taking this red on, Phil. This big shot. Tough pot, this. Oh, lovely shot.
One.
Excellent. Beautifully played. Nicely on the brown.
Five. Six.
Well, it didn't go into the heart of the pocket, but still went in. Love to get rid of the red that's close to the blue into that corner pocket. I'm thinking a couple of shots ahead here.
10.
One of those tables though, Ken, where because the reds are unusually placed, maybe a little more thinking has to go into this. Not your conventional round the pink and black kind of break. Nevertheless, appetising.
Yeah, they're all in the open, but that's where you have to really keep your concentration.
14.
Try and keep that cue ball on a string close to your next object ball and try and make the break as easy as possible.
$21.
I think to really put his opponent under real pressure tonight and give himself a chance, just like in the first frame, he's really got to win frames from this position. It just sends out a marker and a signal to your opponent that, you know, if you make a mistake, I'm going to score just like you are. If you don't, then your opponent will just
29.
grow in confidence. So, important start for Dave Gilbert, and important from this visit as well.
Gilbert certainly took it to Trump the last time they played. It was in the quarter-final of the Scottish Open in Glasgow just before last Christmas. And Gilbert won 5-2.
38.
Helped by breaks of 71, 98 and 142 total clearance. So Trump knows what his opponent is capable of. So do we. Really good things.
$42. 43.
Yeah, he's going to need the extension and the extended rest here. Now a chance to get on that red that's close to that top right hand corner pocket. He's got to miss the red that's close to the middle of the ball cushion, and then just try and rest the cue ball between the red and the ball cushion, and he'll be nicely on that red next to the blue. He's had an anxious look.
45.
Looks like he's on it from here, but he's had a couple of yeah, he's fine. He's got enough of the red. He can pot this now and try and get the blue back on its spot if he wishes.
$46.
Oh, well. That was gone wrong slightly. That was a poor shot. Trying to get the blue back into the same pocket as the red, and way too much left hand side on the cue ball. So needs a good pot here, brown or green. Green is his choice. Back up for these reds down the right hand side of the table. Good pot, but it's not ideal.
49.
The break is 49, the lead is 48. But 67 points are still there.
David Gilbert, 49.
Well, still a little bit of life left in this frame. Trump didn't think he was going to be coming back to the table.
One.
Nicely done. And now, from here, you really should tidy up.
Four.
You were saying, Phil?
Well, he was so tentative with that.
I was, yeah.
Quite a large margin of error. Just get the cue ball past the red. That was frame ball.
David Gilbert, 4.
He's still, of course, in a very powerful position because although 59 are on the table, 2 reds close to the ball cushion, 1 red glued to the right-hand side cushion, a clearance from here, even from Trump, would qualify as magical. Mind you, having seen his clearance to beat Stephen Maguire in the semi-final of the Players' Championship in Southport earlier this year, I wouldn't put anything past him.
One.
Well, that was a beautiful pot, wasn't it? It was like he thought it was a free shot for himself because of the position of the reds and how safe they were. He only needed that red, but lovely long pot and a nice cannon on the black to knock it towards the pocket. 60 ahead, just 51 remaining.
8.
So 3 4-point snookers required for Judd Trump. He may not come back to the table.
David Gilbert, 8. On the frame.
Yes, and that's made up Trump's mind being in a snooker. It was a good frame that from Dave Gilbert. He potted some really good balls, not least the red that got him in for the 49 break. That was the cornerstone of his success.
Well, he feels, Phil, that he could take it on, playing it with a little bit of safety in mind. He's wondering where he can leave the cue ball and what he'll be leaving should he miss this red. So there may be value in taking this on if he doesn't leave anything. It's not easy. It's not easy, but it's looking pretty good. What a
45.
shot he's played there. That is brilliant. Never touched the sides. Fantastic shot.
That's one of the toughest pots to judge, when cue ball and object ball are so close together, particularly to a blind pocket. Excellent.
52. David Gilbert, 52.
Well, I'm not quite sure, Phil, but I think you got a heavy contact there. Let's have a look at this red. I think it did just jump slightly, didn't it? He's got the cover with the black, but that was unfortunate. Dave Gilbert.
Unfortunate and rare, because when you have a kick, you don't very often kick thin.
One.
Yeah, nice pot from Judd Trump. And a nice little angle off the middle pocket to hold for this brown. So once again, you can put this cue ball in an area with a few reds available. Let's just have a little look at that red Dave Gilbert played. Did a bounce
5.
off the table, a little, yeah, it seemed a slight heavy contact for
6.
sure.
In the previous frame, when Trump came to the table facing
12.
a substantial deficit, it all looked rather bleak. Here, though,
30.
a realistic chance to steal this.
Yeah, just working out how he's going to go about this. May take the red left of the black here.
$90.
So there's an area behind these two reds. He's just had a quick look at. That's where he, after this red and black,
20.
may not get a chance to get behind those two reds, but it can certainly play for the red left of the pink now. Not in the middle of the pocket, that black.
$27. $28.
Yeah, so these two reds are close together. They may only be available into the right centre and maybe the top right hand corner pocket, the green pocket as we call it. So drop the cue ball in behind them. Needs a bounce off this cushion. And he's played it pretty well.
33.
Would have liked the cue ball maybe just to travel another inch up the table. And he's got this into the right centre.
34.
Brought the other one out more into central part of the table.
Brown ball.
So he puts this red, gets on the pink or black, and then the difficult red that he'll have to negotiate, the one behind the black.
$39.
And it's not a good angle. So there's still a chance for Dave Gilbert to come back to the table. Well, the old way would be to pot the black and play a snooker. Doesn't have to push the boat out. He got a perfect snooker here. Knock the red up into balk. Leave the cue ball behind the black.
46.
Make this snooker as difficult as possible for Dave Gilbert here. You need that red away from a cushion as well, and that's pretty good. Well, it's just ran out. He won't
46.
be too happy with that. He wanted that red out in the open.
And yet another shot that illustrates the liveliness of the table.
Yeah, completely agree. He only really wanted that red somewhere in the bulk area, away from a cushion. It's still very, very difficult to hit this red. And to, of course, to keep it safe. And does he hit this hard or play it slowly? Try and nestle on it. It looks like he's going to hit it hard. This is tough. He may have left the free ball as well.
Judd trump 4. Free ball.
Does Judd trump take it? He may not. I think if the green was a bit easier, he may take it on. Well, he's going to take it on. What's he going to do? I'm not quite sure that was the right choice.
1.
What would you have done there, Phil? Put him back in?
Well, I was the one who told Dave Gilbert to batten down the hatches before he potted that great red, so I think I'll keep my counsel. It was a really tough snooker that Trump had got Gilbert in,
Ball.
but he's always looking for the attacking way forward, isn't he?
Just trump 1. Thanks, Dave.
Yeah, good hit. Clever shot there. Forcing his opponent to trying to play a good safety, but he plays with the up and down of the red back up towards his top cushion. There's a chance of a double kiss on the cue ball. Gotta be careful here. Oh, he's played it nicely. Missed the double kiss. Now has he got the snooker? Doesn't look like it, but it's pretty safe. Be a chance of playing this red off the black towards this corner pocket. That's what he's looking at. It'll be some shot. He's got to almost hit that black full ball. It's like an old billiard shot, this. It's risky. Just watch the red here. It's going to go close to this left corner pocket. Oh, what a shot.
1.
Well, he couldn't have played that any better. He deserved the little kiss on the brown there, but that was magnificent, Phil.
Wasn't it just? Get that in the highlight reel. No doubt whatsoever. I thought he was going to get no position. I'm glad he got the kiss on the brown. Still not ideal, though. The imagination there.
It's just difficult for a left-hander. It's a bit of a stretch, but he can play right-handed as well. But the importance of this particular shot, he's not going to try it right-handed, so a bit of a stretch. Cue ball brown very close together. He's got to be careful he doesn't push it. He's got the pot, but was playing for that yellow into the right centre.
5. Seven.
Well, another tremendous pot. Lots of right-hand side. It could have been kind of kiss on the green. He's still on the green into the right centre, but again, it's going to require a really good pot here to get this and be on the green, on the brown, but he's missed it.
Just trump 7.
After the red off the black and the yellow, there's a part of me who thinks that Trump deserves to win this frame now. But it doesn't work like that. Gilbert right in it. lengthiest frame of the match so far, and undoubtedly the most absorbing.
Lovely safety shot, perfect. Oh, he's left this one. This is not good. Dave checking the line. One good pot. He's got to cue this nicely. Stay nice and still. Watch his head, it doesn't move. Cue straight. Yeah, beautiful. And he should be on the brown if he avoids the blue, but oh, well, did everything right there except just impart a little bit of right hand side just to widen the angle of the cue ball and bring it up towards the brown. A little bit more side on it, didn't he?
Hates it. We love the centuries, of course we do, but these are the kind of frames that get the juices flowing, and they make such a big difference psychologically in any match.
Well, they've both had chances, haven't they? Whoever wins it will be very relieved, and whoever loses it will be certainly deflated a little bit. Oh, so close. He only had an edge. He thought the only bit of the brown he had, he could pot, but overcut it. Now, this is okay. The brown looks straightforward, but it's not straightforward to hold for the blue here. Needs brown, blue and pink. That's why Judd is taking his time on this. He's having a look at the angle. It's not guaranteed. These tables are so fast, so trying to control the cue ball may have to go up and down the table. Look at this for a shot. Look at this for a shot.
4.
Well, this is one of the players, and it's almost perfect, but one of the players that can only play that shot. There's only a few of them can play that shot in the world of snooker, and he played it very well.
9.
Tantalisingly 12 in front, but 13 on the table. And this, folks, is a pressure ball.
Just trump 9.
He wasn't sure as the pink made its way to the pocket. What a gift, though, for Gilbert.
Six. $13 in the frame. David Gilbert.
The outsider moves in front. Judd Trump made a tremendous start, but the next two frames have fallen to Dave Gilbert. He leads 2-1.
He's definitely added an edge to his game. Trusted Trader, sponsoring evenings on ITV4.
Trusted Trader. Witness the fitness. The clock will tell them.
At the Champion of Champions, only the elite participate. Dave Gilbert in the top 12 in the world, up against the man who's right at the top of the world ranking list, Judd Trump. Right now, though, Trump in a spot of early bother. The last frame, by the way, slow by modern standards, 26 minutes, but for Dave Gilbert, a mere bagatelle. He holds the record for being involved in the longest ever frame in professional snooker history. Wasn't entirely his fault, in fairness. It was against Fergal O'Brien in the final qualifying round of the 2017 World Championship, and if you're not aware of this stat, you'll be astounded. The frame lasted 2 hours, 3 minutes and 41 seconds.
I wouldn't bother about the 41 seconds, Phil, to be honest. That was quite incredible, and it was the final frame, wasn't it, to qualify for the World Championship. I remember it very well indeed.
Neil Foulds was commentating. Still has nightmares.
I think they were just about serving breakfast in the hotel by the time they finished one.
Well, you say that in jest, you know, Ken, but when you beat Ronnie O'Sullivan in the decider, playing for Republic of Ireland against England in the 1996 World Cup over in Bangkok, I finished so late, I did all my journalistic work and then went straight to breakfast. That frame lasted 54 minutes with Ronnie involved.
Nothing to do with me, Phil.
Okay, I'll buy it.
Just trying to nestle into the pack of reds here. Judged it nicely, it looks like. Yep. So it'll be interesting to see how Trump will bounce back from. That will be a shock to the system, missing the pink frame in that last. Just gone. This looks very good. Part of his game that has really improved immensely over the last few years. Judd Trump. A really good attack and safety shot there. Wasn't a straightforward up and down and leave the cue ball right up the green. He wanted to make it as difficult as for his opponent. He has done. Excellent shot that.
An absolutely wonderful setup here at the Marshall Arena. Missing just one thing. You, the fans. Just hope you're enjoying it at home. Don't we miss them, Ken?
Yeah, absolutely. Particularly for big tournaments like this, you know, the players feed off the crowd, off, you know, that gets the adrenaline going. Love to hear the clapping and the shouting and the roaring. It's all part of any sport, of course. We certainly miss the fans here. But I must say that Phil, this set and the table, this whole complex has been wonderful for snooker over the last few months for sure. Everybody concerned has done an absolute top job here.
Cue ball struck precisely at 2 minutes into that shot. Was it worth the wait? Well, he's turned around in disgust. But I'll tell you what, the opening red here is no bargain. This is missable.
One.
Then again, it is Judd trump.
Seven.
Switching hands. I always think he looks a little unstable when he does this. Plays right-handed.
8.
But didn't need to do much with the cue ball there, so that was perfectly reasonable to do.
Yeah, he could have drawn the cue ball back another inch or so. Cue ball run away from the reds here now. Let's have a look to see, does the pink pot into this bottom right hand corner
50.
pocket? It's very tight. Yeah, it should pot. It's one that you want to be almost dead straight behind.
60.
Now, I'm just wondering, will he go into the pack here? He doesn't have to. He can avoid the reds and a little bit of right hand side just to check it off this top cushion for the two reds to the left of the pink. He could go into the pack, maybe even he missed the pink and hit the two reds just to the left of the pink. Just control a controlled sort of cannon on those two reds. And that's the shot he's played. Just didn't hit it hard enough.
21.
Could be end of break.
Touching ball. Judd trump. 21.
Sensibly biding his time. There was no value in bridging over the pack and taking on what was an awkward red anyway, because position from it was so tough, if not impossible. Trump not fazed by being 2-1 down. Let's get that straight. When he won the English Open recently, he won 3 consecutive matches, 4-3 from 3-1 down.
Foul and a miss. Just trump 4. Yeah.
The cue ball will be replaced, but I think more out of hope than expectation. Gilbert, having played the shot initially, will more than likely get this one right.
Dave? Yeah, Judd? Thank you.
He did not play to flick 2 reds, and so to get the cue ball where he did, that was a real bonus.
He's certainly eyeing up this red into the left corner pocket. May play for the black here. It certainly would having a go. He wasn't leaving much. One red maybe to the right centre pocket, but this is certainly no gimme. Oh, good shot.
What?
Excellent pot that. Nicely on the green. Never easy though, is playing them into a blind pocket, and of course the middle pocket. Tried his pockets on the table. But controlled it lovely. He's nicely on the green. Once again, nothing straightforward to get on here. May have to play a little. Only play a little cannon into the 2 reds, just to the left of the pink spot. Try and be on the red into the right corner pocket. He's judged this very well. That was an excellent shot.
4.
Purposely played the cue ball into that area, just close to those 2 reds that I just mentioned. And that was a wonderful positional shot.
Five.
And now, just like that, in a trice, the frame is transformed.
$12. 30.
He's a wonderful shot maker, Phil. He's one of those players
20.
that plays on instinct and natural talent, but he can come up with shots that other players don't play.
21.
That positional shot was certainly one of them. tremendous cue power as well, and that does help.
28.
You can see the shots very quickly indeed. It's like Ronnie O'Sullivan can as well when he's making breaks.
29.
And work out the difficulties very quickly in his mind. See the shot, play it. Now in prime position.
Wasn't an overnight success story. It took him 6 years to establish himself. And at one point I was sceptical whether he ever would. But then he went to the China Open in Beijing in early April 2011, won that. He beat Dave Gilbert, funnily enough, in the final qualifying round of that year's World Championship. Neil Robertson in the first round, went on to the final. And the rest is history.
43. 44.
And let's say I'm not sceptical now.
$50.
Yeah, you always wonder how
51.
a player will react when they lose a frame, the way Judd Trump did in the previous one. And he's reacted very, very well. It's been a really good break.
58. 59.
And now he's looking to add another century to that burgeoning collection. It would be, for his career, 733.
66.
When you consider only a couple of months ago he turned 31, he's got time on his side.
67.
We celebrated when O'Sullivan reached 1,000 centuries. Entirely possible he could make it 1,500.
Yeah, it's not beyond the realms
74.
of possibility. I mean, in another maybe 3 years it'll be up to 1,000, maybe even before that.
75.
As you said, he's got a lot of time on his side. He's such a heavy scorer. I mean, when he gets going. That one particular positional shot was just top class.
82. 83. 90. 92.
It's really hotting up this match, Phil. We said there'd be good scoring in it, and it certainly looks
95.
like that. This second century coming up for Trump.
Well, Trump's points total in this match more than double that of
99.
Gilbert, and yet he arrives at the interval all square.
Yeah, it all came from that particular shot, Phil. Have a look at this again. It was such a beautiful shot, right into the gap.
104. 110. 117 in the frame.
Brilliance is a word we attach to Judd Trump on a regular basis. That was a brilliant break, as was the century he made in the first frame. It is 2 frames each.
This is where the match will really ignite. Not that the first 4 frames were in any way bad. Of course, almost goes unnoticed really that Judd Trump made centuries in both of the frames that he won. It's actually the standard now. It doesn't get as much of a mention as it might have done years ago. But maybe frame 3, which Gilbert probably shouldn't have won, and did, could be significant. Head scratcher, and the reason is that of course there's a red behind the brown in bolt, which means you can't really play anything up the table. That's why it can change the complexion of a frame. Even if he was to leave the cue ball on the bolt cushion, he would leave, you know, an easy safety shot back. But he's got to do something. That is an incredibly thin cut.
Well,
goodness me. And we know the middle pockets don't take the ball very easily. I suppose if you've got no other shot, you might as well go for one. Didn't expect that.
five.
I guess it's what makes him such a
6.
dangerous player, Stephen, isn't it? The fact that he can, you can get him in trouble, and he does this.
Yeah, you can't relax for a second playing against Judd Trump. Phenomenal potter, and he's got a nice angle on the yellow. He'll try and screw the cue ball in between the pink and that red to the left of the pink. Couldn't have played it much better. Had to really grab the cue ball there and a scruff of the neck to get into it here. Beautiful shot.
Really was, wasn't it? The way he screwed in and out of the bunch as well, didn't get stuck in them.
9. $60. 70.
And Judd Trump, as you would expect, best player in the world, world number 1. He always seems to have that extra gear when it's needed. Just pull him away from his opponent. That's why I said at the interval
24.
chat, I still feel he's going to win this match. Just feel he always finds something when he needs to.
$25.
Well, he found the perfect gap there. I can't believe he's lost the cue ball towards that right cushion.
32. $33.
Rescued the situation. Straight on the black, but it's not the same problem for Judd Trump as it is for a lot of players, because so much cue power. Still basically put the cue ball wherever he wants.
$40.
Yeah, I think there's definite
41.
signs that he's taken the game to a new level than we've ever seen before, in that it's always been people that pots balls from all angles, but he channel that in with all of the scoring potential that he's got. The fact that he knocks in so many big breaks, frame-winning breaks as well. Now he has a safety game when he needs it.
48.
But the X factor is that he can just produce something from nothing.
49.
I think the final piece of the jigsaw making Judd trump the player is now is that cue ball. I think 3 or 4 years ago he just didn't have it under control, didn't have under tight control. He does now. You can't make over 100 centuries in a season without having good cue ball control. That's the secret to snooker. Control that white ball. Makes the game a whole lot easier. It's also the reason the likes of Trump and Sullivan, Robertson, when he's on form, why their average shot time is so low, because they're always in perfect position. They never have to think. Basically just walk around the table and they're perfect on the next shot.
Keeps looking at that red as if it doesn't go. It absolutely flies. That middle red through the gap. I can't believe he's in any doubt that that goes. I always say it, but looking behind the pocket you get much better a view to what's available and what isn't, rather than looking into the pocket.
$65.
Pink to leave his opponent needing a snooker, and then concentrate on trying to make his 3rd century of the match. I think Neil Judd and Neil Robertson have got a private battle. They might not admit it, who makes the most centuries this season.
72. $79.
He's having a look at this red again as if it doesn't go. You can get a bust through there.
$80. $87.
It's always worth remembering how a break
88.
starts. Sometimes you get left a chance, but look, this was not an easy lead. I mean, I didn't think that red went. He hit it so thin, it only just went in. But what a way to start a break.
$94. $95.
Goodness me, another century, eh? How about that? 3 winning frames, 3 centuries.
$103.
It's not a new phenomenon for that sort of thing. I mean, the man in the commentary box next to me, Stephen Hendry, made 7 in a final against Ken Doherty.
110.
At the time was off a different planet, but we see more of it now, don't we, Stephen? It's sort of scoring from certain players.
112.
Yeah, the game has changed. It's all about getting in early,
Just
making those big
112
breaks.
on the
Well,
front.
there's another one. Another total clearance, but a terrific break. It really was from Judd Trump out of absolutely nothing. And he's nosed back to the front, and he leads David Gilbert 3 frames to 2. Now a lot of snooker is played here at this venue, but this actually was scheduled venue this year for the Champion of Champions, long before the pandemic. Doing the game proud, actually. A lot of different tournaments being played here, but the venue looks different every time, and that's a credit to all involved. I said earlier on, I think this is a tournament which is building in prestige. Can't just manufacture something overnight, but we've been playing this event since 2013. It's a good one to win. It's a good one to be in fact. Oh, what a great shot. What a great shot that was. And he's leaving a chance as well. He's just sat out a century and he knocks that in.
Not the best shot.
8.
Certainly didn't want the cue ball in the bunch of reds. But as I said at the interval, I feel he's got to start scoring winning frames in one visit. Okay, he could win the match, winning frames in bits and pieces, but I feel the way Trump's scoring, David's got to try and match that if he's going to win tonight. Cue ball's close to the corner pocket.
Foul. David Gilbert 9. Judd Trump 5.
It's a pity because it was a good opening red. He got more and more out of position though in those few shots.
What?
You can't put a ball much cleaner than that. He's almost disappointed that he hasn't landed nicely in the blue so he could go into the pack. Pop the blue and go right into the pink and just split the reds everywhere. He has got enough angle, plenty angle for him actually on the green to play for the loose red, but he seems determined that he wants to play the blue and go into the bunch. Just effortless cue power.
4.
Such a good way of playing that shot. I don't think there's a better player at those sort of shots. Playing the cue ball around the angles.
5.
Well, he goes into the bunch, I guess. In the black instead.
The two reds in between the bunch and the black. He may just flick the left hand side one away this time. Hopefully leave himself an angle on the other red where he can actually split the reds. Never guaranteed 100% to be nicely in the black though.
12.
Don't really know what the cue ball's going to do. It's certainly bringing more reds into play. Control it pretty well. But what goes now? He's going to have to do something again. Develop something. And not easy because you can see the reds are all spread apart. Well, looking at the body language, he's certainly on nothing straightforward.
Touching ball.
Thin one to the left corner possibly to keep the break going.
21.
I'll say it looked at first sighting that he was buried in the bunch of reds there, didn't it? To say he was fortunate to be on one's probably not fair, but it was a good recovery.
Man, I can't believe he's missed a bunch of reds there.
25.
I praised his cue ball control in the previous frame, that magnificent century break, but he's finding it hard work to get nice position in this one. But he just keeps potting.
26.
Again. Just can't buy a good positional shot at the moment.
Yeah, I think going into the bunch would have been comfortable without the yellow in the way of his cueing. But you would never be sure the break's over anymore with Judd. Now he's looking at the yellow, though. I can guarantee it is.
Judd Trump, 26.
Applying the pressure, keeping it on, not doing anything rash.
You do have to say though, it's insensible. Judd just doesn't look like missing anything at the moment. Maybe one on to left middle. He can play it with confidence because he's not going to leave anything. There's no pressure on this. Well, I say that. I hit the far jaw. Not nice shots these, because the cue ball's kind of running wild once you've potted the red and don't know what the natural angle is. Does it go into the green?
Foul.
Well, he's
Just
unlucky
Trump.
really, because he's not gone directly in off, has he? He's going off just the edge of the green. I don't think you can legislate for that happening. A row of plants lined up there, but the bottom two are obviously a long way apart. The others are dead set, but maybe not from the angle he's coming in at them. If he was right behind them, he couldn't miss that, but where he's going to be playing it, I don't know.
Yeah, the two reds to the right, the pink, the right hand side one of those, is just trying to look to see if it actually goes past the other one to hit the plant. That's his problem.
This is not an easy shot though, is it, from there now? The fact that he's playing a 3-ball plant, he could throw them offline if he doesn't get it right. This very alluring to see the 2 balls in a complete dead set to the pocket, but not if you can't quite get to them.
Yeah, it's almost going to take a lot of willpower to refuse this. As you say, because the 2 reds are dead set, determined to get to them. In the end, he did get to them and missed. But at first glance, no damage done. certainly nothing easy. That yellow has come to his rescue. This is a big shot.
One.
He's not had a very good season so far. It's still fairly early days. Obviously rejigged season, but had a couple of disappointments. Didn't get through that far in the Championship League. Lost to Anthony McGill, which was of course a rematch from when they played in the World Championships. McGill won that match also. Had a ill-tempered match with Rory McLeod in the English. Words were spoken between them over, I think it started off with a free ball incident, so it wasn't a great match really to be involved in for either player, I don't suppose. But he's playing in an invitational tournament here, but you kind of invite yourself, don't you? So maybe he'll have a different mentality. He seems to be playing well again. He's gone plant mad, hasn't he? Look at one here. And now it's on.
Oh, how do you fancy this red, Neil? To the right corner. Almost dead straight. Tighten the bolt cushion.
Yeah, corner to corner as well, so it's a long way. The cue ball to the object ball. You want to see that far, didn't want to pop the ball. We hit the wrong side, which is never nice, but that was a hard shot.
Yeah, not only to pot the ball, but he was playing it at pace. I mean, it looked horrendous on screen because he hit the wrong side, but believe me, that's about as difficult as it gets, that shot. You feel this is quite a big frame in this match. Judd Trump now odds on to take it. Got 2 frames in front for the first time. Doesn't normally ease off when he gets that lead in a match.
6. Seven. Judd Trump. 7.
Well, incredible miss. Just concentration, or lack of it, I should say. And fortunately for Judd, he's got position. What a result.
I need to keep repeating it, but we are seeing those shots missed to the far jaw on these RASON tables. It always looked high, but perhaps on style tables it would have just dropped in. We're talking in fractions. It's not a criticism. I don't think it matters that tables play differently. We've been through that before in the old days when they changed from the Riley tables, which were terrific, then the BCE tables took over. They were different again. The players adapted to them.
middle of the pocket's in the same place, whatever table it is.
I think you seem to find it that way.
Now that Judd has missed that easy pink into the middle, it kind of puts a little bit more importance on David Gilbert winning this frame. It would hurt Judd even more. And that's a very poor safety shot.
One.
Timed that beautifully.
I suppose, Stephen, he wouldn't mind that pink staying there if he's going to roll that red along the cushion.
6.
Make it easier than if he's playing on a different colour. Looking further down the line, that is. But he's probably going to have to pop the pink before then.
Seven.
Yeah, I agree. Reds along the cushion, you want to play them with as least power as you can to give them a chance of going in.
David Gilbert 7.
I don't know what he was trying to play on. I presume he was trying to maybe screw along the cushion to get closer to that red, but
No, it didn't seem like it the sort of shot you'd expect to miscue. You see that more now. There's different kinds of chalk. I'm not getting into it, but with the round chalk you see players are really enjoying using it, but you do see more miscues. I think that's a statement of fact.
the previous red, though, if he was going to play for the pink, why not stun the red into the middle? Then you're closer to the pink. It's a lot easier to do what you want to do with the cue ball. He left himself a bit of distance. And this cue ball looks nice.
Yeah, Judd's expression. He saw him get out of his chair full of hope and expectation, and when the balls came to rest, he looked a little disappointed.
Foul.
Oh goodness, it's all happening.
Just trump 4.
He miscues and then he just feathers the white. It wasn't really even a feathering of the white, he pushed it forward quite a long way.
Turned into a bizarre frame, this, all of a sudden.
One.
Blue. Obviously, puts Judd 35 up, 35 on. Don't think he'll risk the black. If he's got any angle at all, I think he'll be able to get to that red. No, it was the wrong angle.
Six.
Surprised he never potted the black, Neil. I mean, he could have played it and left the cue ball away from the red.
Well, I guess, yeah. Feels this is a good position. If the black had been safe, then wouldn't think about any other colour but the blue. But like you say, I think if he'd have gone for the black, he'd have probably got it. At the moment, David Gilbert can tie the frame.
Just
A little bit edgy, this frame. Things that Judd Trump, when he's not making centuries in frames, he's been a little bit untidy. Strange how that can happen in between big breaks. But even then, Gilbert's made a couple of quite serious errors in the last few shots. The miscue, and then where he pushed the cue ball forward. I don't even think it was actually on his... He wasn't even ready to hit the ball when it happened. Just in his addresses, I think.
Yeah, a couple of those mistakes you mentioned is the kind of mistakes you think it's going to be difficult for him to come back from going forward in this match.
Well, that's one way of getting it safe. This was the shot. I think it was just on his, well, as old friend Frank Callan would say, on the waggles. Just getting the shot ready in his mind. I'm surprised that he pushed the cue ball forward, wasn't he? How do you pot this and get on the black?
Don't know if you can get past the yellow to play bolt cushion first here. From behind the red, send it down the table and try and get a snooker behind the brown. Looking at it. That's why he's playing. Cue ball in between yellow and brown.
He's done pretty well, actually. Keep it safe. Gilbert is still in this frame, just. It's the longest frame of the match, this. We had a 10-minute frame the previous. But can't see big breaks, one scoring visit frames all the time. These count almost more than those, I think. The ones that could go either way. Very strange table. It's a table that's tremendous for getting snookers or getting your opponent in trouble. With where the balls are at the other end on the left. The yellow, the brown and the pink all a great target to get behind. Well, that is exactly what he plays. A fabulous shot. He looked at the gap between the blue and the yellow around two cushions. Perfect shot. Big advantage to Trump now. That was a good escape as well. As I say, hanging on in there in this frame.
Clever shot. Even if David manages to hit the red and pot it, he needs a black ball after the red to be able to tie. Great escape last time. Can he solve this problem? Hitting the red shouldn't be, but getting it safe will be. Well, he's just done ever so well there, you have to say.
I don't know, I just wonder if this is the kind of frame there's another twist. Now, Judd hasn't already won it, I'm not sure. I have been trying to get the yellow safe there, so good thinking again.
Well, that's about as good as David could have played that shot. Well, no prizes for guessing where the cue ball is going to be after this shot.
He's been in a number of scrapes in this frame, Gilbert. He's in another one here, unless there's a gap. Surely there isn't between the... Goodness me, is there really a gap there?
I'm looking at Judd Trump. He's got half a smile on his face. He can't believe it. I mean, you could play that shot another 1,000 times, you wouldn't land there. Incredible.
I wonder if he can pot it into the bottom right. I don't think he can put it in the middle. That is amazing, isn't it? That he found that gap, and now he's snookered Judd back, I think.
I don't think Judd can quite believe what's going on the last two shots. Well, it's tied up pink and brown. It was about at least 15 minutes ago when Judd Trump missed that easy pink into the middle when it looked like he was cruising to a 4-2 lead. Seems a long time ago now. Just struggling to get over the winning line now in this frame.
Yeah, you wouldn't expect these two to play frames lasting over half an hour. I know that Phil mentioned that 2-hour frame earlier on. Gilbert will be left with forever that sort of record, I think, but I don't think he's a slow player at all. It was just the circumstance, the opponent, everything that night. Put the yellow in play. He just wants one opportunity, Gilbert. First of all, to get the red and the black. However, I wonder if Judd is thinking that the middle pocket is in play here with the yellow over it to pop the red. He's had a look at it. Don't know if he's going to play it. That's a better shot.
Foul. Just trump 4.
Again, it's been an odd frame, but you could never in your wildest of dreams have predicted that the cue ball would go in the left middle, especially when the yellow was in the way. And now Gilbert needs a snooker.
Judd Trump has played some fabulous safety at the end of this frame, he really has. Okay, he's made 3 century breaks tonight, but this is showing the other side of his game.
Yeah, I thought there might be a twister, but he was expecting Gilbert at some point to get an opportunity. You know, he's been snookered so many times on this red. And now the frame is over.
Blue ball.
All of a sudden, the game is easy again. A brilliant shot.
6. Eight. 11.
What a great shot again. Get on the brown and go in many pockets.
Just trump 11.
That is
on the front.
more than enough. The frame just a few seconds shy of 36 minutes. But they all count, and Judd Trump for the first time in this match is taking a 2-frame lead. It's Trump 4, Gilbert 2.
The 7th frame.
Yeah, I think that Masters
David
victory,
Gilbert's a
the
break.
final over Ronnie Sullivan, was a big turning point in his career.
I think the first session he took the Sullivan apart. He led 7-1, didn't he? And just a little glimpse of all of this, really, a little look into the future. We knew he was capable, but putting it all together these days. Missed that one by far enough.
I'm afraid there's signs of weakness coming from David Gilbert now, I'm afraid. Not really close to that, and you can tell the way he's sort of getting up from the shots when he's missing. There's a kind of air of resignation about it. He's on the move as soon as he's missed it, back to his chair. But if he keeps on getting easy openers, then his mood might pick up. I'm not going to say this is a wrong shot. But it is the risk you take when you play aggressively.
1.
There's always something awkward. That red near the cushion is right where his bridge hand and his arm you would want to be. It just makes this shot just a fraction more of a distraction, a little more difficult. Didn't play into the bunch, so that was a big help. I think with David Gilbert, he's got this long, flowing cue action.
6.
But he's got to be on his game. His timing's got to be there. It's effortless the way he hits the ball. It's all got to be working right. Wouldn't make him the most
7.
consistent player. How long he draws the cue back before he just has to time it and get everything right. When it is working, it looks beautiful. And even on fairly gentle shots, that cue comes right back to the end of his bridge.
12.
You compare him to someone like Mark Allen, the complete opposite, short, punchy cue action. There's more than one way to play this game.
$13.
I'm not sure where the next red is coming from, so he's going to have to disturb something. That's why he's taking the pink on. Just nudge the red beside the pink, leave it onto the right corner. It's well played. Doesn't want the pink to go anywhere near its spot. Certainly not between the bunch and the cue ball. A little bit unlucky there.
I'm not sure it goes there yet. I mean, you can see where the spot is, so he's got to. Rob Spencer's surely got to move it over an awful lot from there. I can't believe it goes on there. But he had to check, obviously. Did the right thing. Now he's got another awkward one.
Well, the good thing about the pink going here is if David can get a good angle in the blue, it's a lovely target to go into the bunch of reds from the blue.
Thank you. 90.
Pink always goes as close to his own spot on the black cushion in a straight line.
20.
Perfectly on the blue. So this is a big shot. Obviously, you want to go into the 3 reds that are in a line at the top of the bunch. If you can go into the middle one, somewhere near the middle one of those 3. Doesn't want to hit the right-hand side of the bunch as we look. Good going off. Perfect.
$25.
You feel this is a chance that he's going to
26.
win in one visit, not only to reduce his deficit to 1 frame, but just for his own confidence going forward in this match, his own belief that he can win it.
$33. $34. $41.
Every frame he won
46.
this afternoon against Sean Murphy. He made at least a 60-odd break. So he's winning frames in one visit. He's not done that so far tonight.
He's at the point where he's got to up his game, isn't he, to keep the match alive. And he's gone 5-2 down. I don't see a huge chance of him making the comeback. So to get back to within a frame, he
48.
certainly was within striking distance. And as you say, it's winning frames in a single visit going to do the damage.
49.
Yeah, winning frames in 2 or 3 visits. It's all it's good you're still winning frames, but don't really put pressure on people like Judd Trump. But you start winning them in one visit, then that does get their
54.
attention.
Yeah, career centuries 287. Gilbert turned professional 19 years ago. We'll see Trump's
55.
734 turned pro 4 years later, but can't judge everyone by the very highest levels. Gilbert is a big scorer on his day.
$62. $63.
This is good stuff. I mean, he certainly lost his way a little bit during that previous frame. That long, drawn-out frame.
70.
Got himself back together here.
$71.
Shouldn't matter too much.
David Gilbert.
Disappointed not to
71.
add to that.
On the frame.
Decides enough is enough. So David Gilbert fights back there. A valuable break of 71. And he's back to a frame behind. Judd 4-3 up over David Gilbert.
Is on the black spot. So let's get rid of that red first.
13.
It's a little bit of a tricky situation actually, because even if he plays for that red that's next to the black to the left corner, I'm not sure the black goes to the right corner, so
14.
he's got a bit of work to do to create this into what you would call, you know, a golden chance to win the frame at this visit.
$90. $20.
Yeah, the slight grimace there.
25.
Just wanted another inch or two in the cue ball to be able to pot this red and just screw directly and play the black into the same pocket. You can't avoid the cannon on the black here now. And you just have to cut his losses and screw the cue ball back up the table.
$26.
Those shots to a lot of players are actually quite difficult, but he just plays them effortlessly.
Yeah, there's plenty of skill in that shot. I mean, it wasn't lucky to finish where he did on the blue. Very sweet cueing. Now this time he may have gone too far for his intended red. I don't think he played on this one.
32.
Seems to be very much like Ronnie O'Sullivan when he gets in these situations. Just enjoys the challenge of working out the puzzle. Getting the balls into that position where he can go on and make the century break. It's been excellent stuff so far. Always been right side of the blue.
$37. $38.
I think the red closest to the pink will pot to right corner. That's a lovely little shot.
$45. $46. $53. $54. $61.
So I think this next shot is the sort of the last piece of the puzzle in terms of winning the frame, getting good position of this red. Just going to watch the left middle pocket here. Because the cue ball will cannon into the red next to the one he's potting.
62.
Blue puts him 67 ahead, 67 on, so he's another red, and for once he's wrong side of the blue. Again, this is a shot if he's going to go round in and out of bulk. Shot he plays so well. Cue ball needs to travel or stop. So frame ball isn't as easy as I think anyone
67.
expected it was going to be. I think if there's any part of the game that Judd Trump looks slightly awkward, it's using the rest. He's left-handed, plays with his right hand. That
68.
That was not a problem.
Yeah, I know what you mean. He's actually 5 from 5 in this match, but he doesn't look quite as fluent with the rest. I agree. But he's done enough here, and he started the day, the first couple of
75.
frames he won against Stuart Bingham were
76.
a very poor frame. Stuart didn't play anywhere near his best, and Judd was 2-0 up without really ever playing, but then he started to turn it on. Not in a century, won the match comfortably. He's got better as the day has gone on. Perhaps a bit vulnerable early on, but not now.
83.
Particularly dangerous.
84. $91. 92.
Not the best angle. It depends if the red, will, I guess, will go to the middle. That will be okay.
$99. 100.
Another century.
$107. Judd Trump 107.
Well,
on the
another
front.
century. That's just rolling them off so fluently. He's made 4 centuries tonight, but David Gilbert is still just about in the match. Judd Trump now leads 5-3. Needs one more frame to be through, i.e. the semi-finals, but he's almost there. 2 up with 3 to play. Gives Gilbert something to aim at, but Judd's scoring when he's in is quite deadly tonight. He always had the cue ball in his mind there. If you get close enough to the pot, cue ball should shape its way around to the bulk end. Now what has Gilbert got from here? Has he got any more to offer? Played 2 matches, of course. We're not running marathons here, but you know it can be quite draining to play 2 high quality matches in the same day. Mentally more so than anything else.
Interesting shot choice. Had 2 reds to go at. The right corner's obviously decided he's not going to gift Judd Trump this match by going for something that's a bit risky and possibly missing and leaving Judd in. trying to keep it tight. Pretty aggressive safety shot. Opened the reds far and wide. Put pressure on this safety shot from Judd Trump. Lots of check side in the cue ball. Yeah, been a bit fortunate there, Judd Trump, in certainly covering the red. It's closest to the left corner. You feel David's going to take something on this time.
I guess, Stephen, the problem with the playing with check and the safety is that it slows the cue ball up when it hits the first cushion. It's hard to actually get all the way back to the baulk cushion. He hasn't managed it here. Like you say, there's an opportunity, but he doesn't want to miss. Look where the balls are. He was on the walk there, wasn't he? I think as soon as he hit that, he knew it wasn't there.
Yeah, I think you see the reason why I didn't take pot on the first time. Seems to have lost that bit of confidence, and it's so many times you see that in frames where a poor safety shot can create an opening because it kind of forces your opponent into taking a pot on. And it was David Gilbert's safety that opened all the reds up. And it could be his downfall.
I said earlier that when he won his 6th ranking event in Gibraltar, World Championships were imminent. Thought that he might have a chance to retain his title. First person to win it for the first time and then retain it. But of course the lockdown, everything changed in the world. More important things than playing snooker, of course. But after lockdown, he wasn't in the same form really. Not in the Tour Championship, the World Championship. He lost to something of a rival in Kyron Wilson. But he's found his game now, all right. Winning the English Open a couple of weeks ago. Terrific final against Neil Robertson, winning by the odd frame. So he's back to where he was. Because you can't just turn it on like a tap with your form. Do dip in form, even if you're a leading player like Judd. Not just expect it to come back immediately.
$90. $26.
I think you're looking to see if the black might even pop the right corner, but it certainly will now.
27.
Wonderful chance again, isn't it, for another big break? I guess getting over the line's all that really counts.
$34. 35.
I always thought that
42.
Judd might be a little bit vulnerable in the first match in this group, best of 7.
40.
He's not the fastest of starters in tournaments. In the first 2 frames he was, well, by his standards, awful. But what a dominant performance tonight this has been.
Yeah, especially since the mid-session interval, as you said, the match was going to pick up, and it has. Okay, we had one frame which lasted 36 minutes nearly. Wasn't very good, but other than that, since they had the 15 minutes or so, the standard has gone up, especially from Trump.
Yeah, as I said earlier, he's got that knack of finding a gear. Where his opponent
58.
is maybe posing him a bit of a problem, getting a bit close. He seems to be able to find something. Just a little bit awkward here, just got to be careful.
59.
I think that's it, all over, done and dusted. Not mathematically, of course. Well, that's 2 or 3 balls to pot, but hard to see it going wrong. And all Judd will be thinking at this moment is making his 5th century of the match.
64.
I'm sure Neil Robertson's watching this. Thinking he's got a real challenge on.
65.
Century count for the season.
Well, there's no way back if this red goes in. Already snooker's needed, and this is
73.
a really good performance now from Judd. The century, as Stephen said, would be the icing on the cake, I guess. Everything else, all the boxes are ticked. Looks dangerous. He's played good safety, played thoughtful safety
79.
shots. His long putting has been near its best. Pretty devastating
80.
in amongst them as well. And he did mention earlier that he thought this table was playing a little bit tight. It hasn't really seemed that way tonight. Not because pockets have got any bigger, it's just that he's playing well.
87. Yeah,
I suppose if you're Judd Trump, the only disappointment is you've got to wait till the weekend to play your semi-final. You know, he wants to be playing again straight away. That's a nice problem to have.
$95.
It's been an absolute clinic
96.
in break building tonight.
This is absolutely awesome scoring.
103.
Another century, goodness, what a performance.
$104.
A lot of topspin on that one.
111.
I was going to say a crowd pleaser, but they are. People at home are watching it and enjoying it, no doubt.
113.
Well, this is the standard the other players have to try and match at the moment. Of course, he's not world champion. Ronnie O'Sullivan is. To remember that, and he's capable of playing like this. But this
120.
tonight, in amongst them, he has been deadly.
$125. $131.
If he pots this, takes some doing, really. Goodness, he has, hasn't he? Oh, wow. What a way to end. That was devastating from Judd Trump. What a day at the office he's had. He's won both of his matches, and he's finished off David Gilbert with 5 centuries. He's through to the semi-finals. That was brilliant.